parts of his job. Woo!
Hello and welcome, Grand Rapids. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm your anchor, Josie Sabo.
And I'm your other anchor, Sean Francis. And because you guys were all festival-ly arted out, eating all that meat on a stick, we've carved up the top local, national, and world news that you may have missed.
You're welcome, Grand Rapids. This is
NewsFlash. Dong ding! Our top story tonight, as gas prices rise to as high as $5 a gallon in some states, we are seeing also a surge in those snarky stickers of President Biden at the gas pump that say, "I did that." In reality, there's very little that could be done to immediately reduce these projects by anyone, Biden and otherwise. As the war in Ukraine, end of China's lockdown in Shanghai, overall natural supply and demand changes as more people are active than they were during the previous 2 years of COVID. Also causing sticker shock at the gas pump, realizing Maria Menounos has been providing sponsored infotainment for over 20 years now. Man, whatever they use to power GSTV or Nuvi or whatever the fuck, could we just recycle all of that into the oil supply chain, since that seems to be a never-ending resource? I don't know, that's just my idea.
Pfizer announced 250 new jobs at its Kalamazoo plant, alongside other investments as part of a $120 million investment to increase production on Paxlovid, its antiviral COVID-19 pill.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer called the planned extensions of Pfizer operations in Michigan a great source of pride. However, if swelling from pride or expansions in general don't reduce after several days, please consult your doctor.
We're not above that. Grand Rapids Whitewater President and CEO Steve Heacock wants to restore the Grand River to its original natural state. And to get the community on board, he seems to be doing everything he can to jazz it up, to sexy it a little bit. Heacock, he says his plan will give us everything that we want in a river. Deeper, faster, thicker, longer, and, oh yeah, wetter. Yeah. Oh, we'll be taking out dams and stuffing in the material. We're gonna split it in half, and we'll start on the west side until the east side's just begging for it. You know, I'm gonna send a crew down to the lower arm from Bridge Street South to Fulton. We'll have a roar of the rapids and people playing in those waves. Like, damn! And if this doesn't get passed, we'll all end up with blue bridges. If you know what I mean. Thanks, Drew.
Last week, 2 men from Portage were the final of 4 to be sentenced in a scheme that defrauded Amazon out of over $1.5 million. They would rent textbooks and then sell them to local bookstores by creating multiple accounts. One thing that wasn't addressed was how many actual students get defrauded out of thousands of dollars by simply buying a textbook for a class they only use once, get a fraction of that money back after selling it back at the end of the semester. But, good for Amazon for making back that 0.00001% of its total net worth.
Yeah. After a high school baseball, very different sport, a baseball game in Sacramento, parents from the losing team went and fought the umpire in the parking lot. And they were all forced to sit out for the remainder of the season, and also suffer punishment by having freezing cold Gatorade dumped on them. Now, here with some additional thoughts, we have a local volunteer coach, Coach Z?
That's right, Francis, that's right. Okay. Yeah, well, how you doing? You looking good.
All right. Do you want a seat, or?
No, I'm gonna stand for this.
Okay, fair enough.
I gotta be ready for the signs here.
Got it, yeah. Now, I imagine that incidents such as this, you must have a lot of the community is all shaken up.
Yeah, this is gonna hinder umps going forward here. In the future, we're gonna need a lot more padding.
That's
Yeah, our budget's already razor thin. We can't even send these kids to the big leagues. The big league chew, it's Hubba Bubba here.
I gotcha. So what do you have anything to say to the parents in this situation? From what I understand, this is becoming a more common occurrence. That's really impressive. Yeah. Wow.
Finish that first.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this has been.
Now let me tell you something. Just because these parents didn't make their all-star team doesn't mean they can fight the umpires, okay? That's my job.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like I haven't had my trouble with umpires, you know. When I was 10, I hit a line drive all the way to the back. Right, I'm rounding third. I'm gonna get inside the park home run. That's what I'm about to do. And now those son of a bitches call it foul.
Oh no.
I'll show Pierre that I had a double right after that. You know what I'm talking about.
Sure. So yeah, maybe fuel that anger in a different way.
Yeah. Now listen, if you paid for pitching and hitting lessons all year long and your kid streams a dash because of some small time ump, I'd understand you'd be upset, okay? But if you really cared about your kids, you would have started them on creatine and anabolic steroids before they were 10, okay?
Okay, I don't know if that's the takeaway that we should be getting. Are any other suggestions to de-escalate or avoid these sorts of altercations?
Back in my day, we'd just be really passive aggressive, you know. We'd not offer umps or snacks, you know.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's never okay to hit anybody, especially not a blind person.
Wait, so the umpire was blind?
He must have been! My boy Timmy was totally safe, and they had to call another umpire and to call the fight.
Oh, interesting. So there's two umpires at that point. Okay, I think that's all the time we have for. Thank you, Coach Z.
Thank you.
Local volunteer. I need to emphasize volunteer, Coach. Okay. Anyway, last week the Milwaukee Zoo announced the birth of a baby giraffe, and God, just look at that monster. Ugh. It's all tall and bony, gangly, ugly. Ugh. The entire internet agrees with me. This thing, too ugly to live, frankly. Yeah. And I mean, America has so many well-regulated militia members running around stomping out perceived threats. And this goddamn baby giraffe is just out here being protected. Look at it though. It's disgusting. My gosh. I mean, if the existence of baby giraffes isn't why we have the Second Amendment, I don't know what is. So, take them down. Baby giraffes. Who's with me? No one? Okay.
Scientists have discovered that male mice are terrified of bananas. So, if you still have that weird Minnie Mouse fetish and you want Mickey to stay away, you know what to do. Grab a banana and make your move.
Weird. That's a weird thing.
And also during the pandemic, a lot of small business owners have struggled and some have sadly closed their doors. However, others have taken the opportunity to open up new ventures. And we at NewsFlash have rounded up our picks for best new Grand Rapids businesses to emerge during the past year with a feature we're calling Wilp Reviews Pandemic Edition. Starting with Social Misfits, a bougie waffle place downtown. I just keep going back and forth on this one. Should I go? Should I stay home? It just feels like, I just keep flip-flopping.
Then next we have the Easttown Cereal Cafe. I don't know. This sounds like a target for serial killers, so I'm going to stay my distance.
Phoenix Theaters at Woodland Mall is rising from the ashes of the Celebration Theater that closed in 2020. This new company boasts a Dolby Atmos sound system, a wine bar, and other amenities, but I can't go see Sonic 2 after it's already been out for other theaters for over a month for $5, so it's a no from me.
Gotcha. We've got Valhalla Meadery in Kalamazoo. When you want to feel like a Viking by drinking honey booze. Be careful though, those sugar crash hangovers are real. I mean, that's why the Vikings braided their hair. They could help their buddies puke more easily.
Pug Cider Tap House, and I do like pug dogs. They're very cute, but these tap house folks couldn't spell pugs right. It's like, pugs with a G. Shouldn't be pucks with an X. X doesn't mark the spot. It's a G spot, not an X spot.
Interesting.
So stay tuned for our next round of Whelp reviews where we tackle yet to be opened brick and mortar shop Amazon store in the Woodland Mall that will put all the other stores in the mall out of business by just reselling their used products in cheaper packaging for a lower price.
Hey! Good old Amazon. They really made a comeback after those textbook thieves. The Heidelberg Restaurant and Bar in Ann Arbor was about to celebrate its 60th year in business until they found documents showing that they're only 50 years old. And that's what happens when you sit around a bar for 50 years. You just look and feel way older than you actually are. But, I mean, this is not really a big deal. I mean, we all know one of those people that celebrated their 29th birthday at least 10 times. So let's hope that the Heidelberg has a good sense to celebrate its 50-year anniversary every year for the next decade. You never look a day over 50.
Last week marked the beginning of Pride Month, and many members of the LGBT community are weary of corporations claiming their support while doing absolutely nothing to counteract the actions of politicians pushing anti-gay rights legislation that might also benefit from donations from those same corporations. Sort of like how Chick-fil-A started selling rainbow versions of its sandwiches.
Yeah, we see it. Not a good idea. All right.